All right.
Hello. Welcome to episode 11 of the Key Yard podcast. I can't believe we made it that far.
Wow.
Without any further ado, you may have noticed that we have a third inlay available and a third person with us. That's because today we have a special guest on. He is the king of rockaholic style, the Portuguese man of war and peace, Yorkshire's answer to David Lee Roth. Oh my Judas in my mind, it's only Tom bloody De Silva. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. I'm on the podcast.
Yay.
Come on, baby, come on. Yeah, I am Yorkshire's answer to David Lee Roth. That's actually.
Do you like that?
That was brilliant. Brilliant. So yeah, I'm glad to be on the Key Yard podcast. I've been watching ever since you guys started. So it's really cool to actually be guesting on a podcast for once.
I'm sorry if I caused any offence.
You know what?
I'm not hosting.
You're not hosting. We'll get on
relax, and then we'll all just have a nice
beer.
We'll get onto that in a minute because you are indeed the host of the Predetermined podcast, the best three-man roundtable podcast in northern London that is covering wrestling and other shenanigans.
Yeah, I'd say we're at least the fourth best in the UK. We're not OSW do not qualify as with the European Federation. But Achidera podcast.
Achidera podcast, yeah. But anyway, seeing as you are here, we are going to talk about our experiences going to gigs with you. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff today, and we are going to kind of quasi make it a Halloween special as well. But KB, how are you, sir?
Well, first of all, I'm the only one who brought a costume, so I'm shame on you guys. Hey. There we go. Okay, that's fine.
I'm repping Loathe today.
Halloween's the only day which you hate,
but way hotter,
Horror nice, like a Misfits Jason thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get on? Who are we sponsored by today, KB?
So the sponsor today, if you're looking for new mugs, well, you come to the wrong place because the paint is wearing thin on these. So that's bad.
What does that say? Break dance.
We'll break dance for biscuits.
But
instead, you get to see us pretty mugs. So the Halloween special is sponsored by yours truly, all of us, all in one. So
by Chewbacca,
the gift that spreads from Halloween to Christmas all in one.
Yeah, excellent. Right, so Tom, we are going to get into talking about yourself, I would say.
Yeah.
First off, how are you, man? How are things? What sort of stuff have you been working on at the moment?
So at the moment, I've been working on like various different things. At the moment, the Predetermined podcast is kind of my main thing at the moment. Particularly, it's the first time I've kind of helmed a project like as the leader of it by myself, and it feels kind of liberating to go and do that because I'm the one that kind of calls the shots and shoots down ideas that Ben and Jack tend to have. For example, Jack decided that we were going to do a 3-hour ECW episode last week that I then shot down. But yeah, I'm not trying to be tyrannical with it. I'm trying to listen to what the other guys have to say because they actually make the podcast with me. Yeah. Obviously, I was going to use this to kind of promote something else that I'm working on, which is this Story of Our Lives podcast I'm doing at the moment. I've recorded a couple of sessions with people. Obviously, I know people within the music, wrestling realm. I've used to work for Rockadile, so I have lots of contacts, and I've been shooting emails to various different friends of mine to sort of get them on a podcast to talk about music and what they were influenced by, what they were into as kids, and how that's impacted their musical output today. I actually just shot an email a couple of hours ago to Sam Carter of Architects.
Nice. Very nice.
He would, obviously they've got Animals out, which is a phenomenal song. I don't get where the hate's coming from, but honestly, like, I'm looking forward to seeing them down the road at Download or Not. That's the kind of stuff I've been working on. Bit of wrestling, bit of music, bit of personal life stuff, trying to find a new job. So yeah,
Awesome. We should explain you literally just had a phone interview before this podcast went live.
I like message Rob and like, yeah, I'm in my suit, like I'm on a Zoom call, like I've got to like change into like normal Tom clothes, then I'll be there.
Yeah, you did say that. So we should explain. So we first met at the Devonshire Arms in Camden, I believe, where we used to have karaoke nights back before COVID was a thing.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, we met up at Download Festival.
Yeah, definitely.
And hung out for a bit. Where you were part of the press there.
Yeah, I was. That was my first year covering Download as a member of the press, which was a fucking big dream for me because I remember growing up with like my mum was a big rock and metal fan, and my mum will tell you stories about 1984 Van Halen and AC/DC at Donington Park, or 92 with Iron Maiden, or 93 with Metallica and AC/DC, which I believe is the last time Metallica ever supported a band was AC/DC at Donington Park in the early 90s.
Nice.
So my history of Download has kind of been there throughout my life. So for them to actually give me the opportunity to go there and do press was an eye-opening experience. I think one of the most surreal moments for me was being backstage while Def Leppard was sound checking. And
wow,
I'm not very close with my mum, but I texted my mum going, "Oh, I'm just hearing the guitar, like the Def Leppard guitars and vocals be, sound checked." And I thought, yeah, this is kind of what I've wanted to do since I was 13 years old, was to be backstage and like go to the Bacon Sarnie van or go to the Jägermeister van to my mate Benji from Skin Meds. So yeah, it's
good old Benji.
Benji's a good lad. Yeah, we love a bit of Benji on here.
The most impossibly Welsh man I've ever met, apart from old KP.
I try my best.
Yeah, so yeah, like Download was phenomenal. Like
it really was. It was wet. It was really, really appallingly bad weather.
Worse off for you guys. You guys were in the thick of it. I was in the bougie kind of like we're gonna like soothe the ground every time you walk press bit, and artists and celebrities are walking around. I think one of the oddest interactions I had that weekend was running into Pete Dunne at the vegan.
Oh, nice.
Running into one of British Strong Style's former WWE UK champion, Pete Dunne,
nice, yeah.
having a vegan burger. And yeah, that was a bit of a kind of kayfabe breaking reaction.
Nice.
Yeah, he was a good lad though. I talked to him for a few minutes. He was a good lad. And obviously there was, I'm friends with Toni Storm, who obviously wrestles for WWE as well. So I had a drink with her on Friday night after Def Leppard. She was very drunk. I was very drunk. It was good.
Don't tell us what happened next.
It's only the best thing to be. Oh, well, yeah. So we, I believe we watched Power Trip together as well, didn't we, Tom? And of course, the late great Riley Gale.
Yeah, rest in peace. Like we've had an admittedly a shitty year for losing great musicians. We lost Eddie a couple of weeks ago. A bit outside of our world, but a bit kind of inside our world is Sean Connery.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Sean Connery.
Yeah, we did have that on the list.
Unfortunately, we found out just before going live that Sean Connery has passed away at the age of 90. I don't want to spend too long on it because obviously we know how great of an actor he was and the legacy he left behind. But what is your favourite Sean Connery role, would you say, KB and Tom?
I'm a big fan of Dr. No. I think it's the best Bond film.
Dr. No. Yeah,
Dr.
James
No
Bond.
Is probably my favourite Bond film. Yes, it's aged poorly and has very, very sexist standards, but it was the 60s and that was James Bond.
No, that was James Bond, exactly, in the 60s. Yeah.
I also love him as Indiana Jones's dad.
That's what that was the one I was going to mention, yeah. I just think that film in itself was one of the most drawing aspects of the series in itself. So, and I think Sean Connery was a great addition to that. And in the sense, I just mentioned that it was only when we were preparing for this podcast that Rob actually told me the news, because I'd been in bed since after 11:30. So yeah, there was a bit of a shock to me at that time. So thanks, Rob.
No, sorry to break the news that way, but have either of you seen the film Zardoz?
No, not.
He was in.
Is that when he's kind of dressed in very little clothing and looks a little bit like an old man trying to be a middle-aged Japanese samurai?
Yes.
God, it's fantastic.
My uncle talks about that film a lot, and he said it's one of the worst films he's ever seen. Don't watch it. And the more he says that, the more I tell him I'm so tempted to watch it now. And he goes, "No, seriously, not even for like a jokey, laughy purpose. It's like one of the worst films ever made." So naturally, I'm probably going to watch it at some point.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, for me, he will always be Henry Jones Sr. as well in Last Crusade. That for me was his. That was the role I grew up with him on, and it's the role that I remember him most fondest by. So, yeah, very sad news today about Sean Connery. Yeah, I gotta say, Kieran, I mean, you think you're tired, right? I've been up. I only got to bed at like 4:30 last night, right? Because I was doing a 6-hour Among Us session with Dan from Tesseract again last night on Twitch.
and I was raging on FIFA 21 on Weekend League. I don't know which one causes more rage in the grand scheme of things. Probably.
But it was hilarious because Dan was getting more and more progressively drunk on gin as the evening wore on, and he would just ended up just playing Linkin Park songs out loud and just like singing along to them. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of big anniversaries in terms of like classic metal albums.
Well, it is a classic now, really. I mean, it's 20 years old, Hybrid Theory.
It's so strange to think now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That these albums that we grew up, like White Pony by Deftones a couple of weeks ago turned 20, and they re-released it. And obviously the new Deftones album is the best thing they've done since White Pony.
I absolutely agree with you. I think Koi no Yokan, for me, is still my personal favorite. But in terms of like records, their overall output, it's definitely up there for me. It stands amongst the giants, you know.
One of my favorite things ever is to but I'm going to borrow a term from the That's Not Metal podcast, so expect insider references because I'm basically the sixth member of the clique. So it's a shoot, brother. I love taking the mick out of Billy Bullet Belts for hating on, desperately hating on Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, because it is a fantastic album. The only time I ever saw that band live was when they did it at Download 2014.
I didn't go that year. We both went to Sonosphere instead, right?
Yeah,
Kevin?
that is my biggest regret is just not ever getting to see Linkin Park live, and because I was hoping to get it for like a birthday gift or whatever, and I think my mum got me something else instead, and I think that was the worst betrayal she could have ever done.
The best of Welsh Valley choir singers or something.
Because I remember like getting Hybrid Theory for my birthday, and ever since then, I think that is one of the only rock bands or metal bands that my mum has ever taken a liking to. Besides, like Green Day, for example, I don't know what it was. She says she doesn't like screaming or anything like that. But when it comes to Linkin Park, there's exceptions.
Would you guys honestly say Linkin Park are arguably the biggest metal band of all time?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Just in terms of popularity, right? Because everyone knows Linkin.
I agree with that by all means, but I still think Metallica is arguably the biggest.
In the world where Metallica songs are like being lauded in the same breath as Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones as classics, I don't think Linkin Park get that kind of recognition across the board. Like you wouldn't see Rolling Stone go, "Oh yeah, in the end, it's one of the greatest songs ever written," even though it fucking well is. It's an amazing song. It's a song that inspires feelings of hope in people that are going through depression. And I think the biggest and best thing about Linkin Park was kind of highlighting those issues in a time 20 years ago when it was quite toxic in mainstream society to talk about those issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
in terms of what I was kind of meaning to get at with that, what I said just then was kind of more their crossover appeal, because I don't think even Metallica get played that much on mainstream radio, whereas you turn on Radio X and every now and then it's In the End or Numb. It's relentless how the mainstream has embraced Linkin Park more than Metallica. I think it's.
But what's the conversion rate of that compared to Metallica? Do people like? I don't know. Like I've seen Metallica headline. Well, not headline. Sorry, they've been at like, is it Live Aid that they were at Wembley? You know, the gigs like that at TwitchCon, just at Glastonbury, Reading. You know, I don't really think that it's really like I don't want to say like Linkin Park. I don't know. I'm getting lost with my words now.
Well, we have Michael in the chat again. You're right, pal. Linkin Park, he says, are probably the biggest metal band of Generation Y.
Yeah,
no,
there is an argument for that.
So a demographic, yeah, of course.
When I love Linkin Park, but they are the kind of music that gets played over anime OTCs.
Yeah, it'll be
like,
either.
I've clicked on them. It's like, another Linkin Park song from 2003.
You know what? It's funny you mention anime, because there was another bit of interesting news I had from this week, which I didn't think was going to get mentioned. It was going to get lost in the shuffle, but I actually watched my first ever episodes of an anime series this week.
Did you?
It's the series called Dororo. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's on Amazon Prime. Basically, I was on. Shout out to Sarah Sang on Twitch, who I'm subscribed to. She's great. I just thought I'd hang out on her channel for a bit, and she was doing a watch along of this series Dororo, and it's a Japanese anime series about a guy who is born without any senses and without a face, without any arms, without any legs, without anything. And he gets his arms and legs and stuff back by slaying demons.
So how does he start?
I don't know. I started on episode 5, and I watched 2 episodes, and I thought, I have no idea what's going on here. This is wild, you know. But the swordplay and the choreography, you know, even obviously it's an animation, but like the way the action scenes are drawn and how graphic it gets, really kind of took me aback, you know, in a good way.
Before I recommend more anime to you, do you mind watching anime in subs, or do you have to watch it in dubs? Only because it fuels the recommendations I'm going to give for you.
Well, I this particular one was subtitled, and I didn't mind that at all.
All right, so Demon Slayer. Have a look at that one. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, absolute classic. Hunter x Hunter, another great one. Death Note, Attack on Titan. I'm trying to think. Seven Deadly Sins has some good stuff, but it's on Netflix, so I don't know if you're gonna check that one out, Rob.
Yeah, fair enough. Murray Man in chat says the Dororo thing I was talking about was like the Knight from Monty Python, but in reverse. That's a fair point.
Isn't that just most Japanese anime? Like,
yeah. Are you into anime, Tom? I don't know if we ever
like the thing is, I'm big into like other aspects of Japanese culture, like obviously a massive proponent of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
New Japan, of course.
You know, which I'm a massive fan of. But all of the stuff that Kira recommended, definitely all of that is up my kind of street with anime. I like more of the classic stuff.
Great stuff. Well, I mean, we could do a segment on this podcast where I react for the first time to all these series, you know, and give you my thoughts on them. The one other thing I wanted to talk about, Tom, was the Killswitch gig that me, you, and KB all went to last October. Almost a year to the day, I would say.
About a week ago, about a week.
Blimey. I can't believe that was a year ago, man.
I can't count the amount of times I have taken a megabus all the way up to London for 4 hours, showed up, got drunk before a show, then waddled back to the National Express, and then just went home, back to Cardiff, and my phone turning off, so I had to take an hour to walk back home and just go into bed.
Mate, absolute trooper. Absolute trooper.
Eat, sleep, watch Killswitch, repeat.
Yeah, no, that was a great gig, though. I mean, my abiding memory of that was we all met up beforehand. This is at Brixton Academy. I think it was the first time. Was it kind of the first time that you met KB, Tom?
I knew of KB like through like the YouTube stuff, and obviously, you know, download like halfway through. I was very like I'm a mess at download usually.
But it was
there.
kind of the first time we kind of all got to like hang out
Hang out,
properly
yeah.
and know each other. And then we had Revocation supporting, who were awesome. If a weird fit, I felt for Killswitch, they were a bit more tech deafy, and their light show unfortunately made a girl behind us have a seizure, which was
I remember that. You bring that back to me now. The one major thing I remember is that guy smoking by us, and he was telling us about the crafty ways he was using to hide the fact that he was smoking.
Oh, that dude!
In the venue.
I forgot about that dude.
Yeah.
And then I started vaping in the middle of everyone, and then from nowhere I have a tap on my shoulder, and then through just natural instinct I immediately put my vape back into my pocket, and then I see it's one of the security, and then she says, "Open your hands," and I was like, yeah. It's probably just the smoke from the stage.
You had to. You didn't tell me you had to surreptitiously hide your vaping from the security.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Ban vaping as well. They don't like the smell of strawberry.
Oh, that's hilarious. And who else? What was the name of the other band that supported the first band?
Tenside.
Tenside. That was it. Yeah, Lord Tenside.
Yeah.
Wrestling reference.
And they did actually release a new album last year, didn't they? I think Tenside.
Did they? Yeah. No, I thought they were pretty good. They were kind of your typical metalcore kind of new age metalcore sound.
Yeah,
but
quite
that's
solid.
cool. And then obviously the main band. Oh yeah! Before we go any further, you obviously you got to interview Adam and Jesse beforehand, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah, I got to interview them. Obviously, I have a copy of the interview on a hard drive, like over there, like one of my like reviewing hard drives. And they were the nicest blokes I've ever met in music.
That's so great to hear, because I love Killswitch, and I love.
And I've met people. So like, I think the two worst interviews I've ever had with anyone was Nurgle from Behemoth, which are a band I love as much as I love Killswitch. And he was just very like anti-press, like didn't want to answer my questions, didn't want to cooperate. The interview was fine. It was just very intimidating.
Well, I've heard he. I mean, we've been obviously following Mosh Talks, Beez's Twitch channel, and he's played a bunch of interviews from Nurgle, and Nurgle does come across in a lot of them as very standoffish, like no nonsense.
Like he was there with his beer, just like sort of looking at me, like expecting me to kind of answer a controversial question. So he'd go another rant about how he hates Christianity, which is fine because Nurgle's like a lovely dude. Apart from the obvious, stand up.
Yeah.
And the absolute worst, the one that I have like the worst feelings towards is, the band Ailstorm.
Yes.
I hate that guy so much. I've never met a more egotistical dick than Chris Bowes. But yeah, Killswitch were lovely. The best boys. I love them so much. They gave me so much of their time that, there was half an hour in and obviously Jesse was interested in kind of talking about stuff and said to the guy, "Oh, give him another half an hour." And that was
that's awesome.
It was awesome that he actually made the effort to go to the guy and go, "Yeah, give this kid another hour because he's asking me some interesting questions."
I gotta say, I absolutely love Jesse Leach. Like he's my boy.
No, he's my boy.
I mean, I know we have the whole Howard versus Jesse debate, and objectively, Howard is the better singer, but Jesse is the front man for Killswitch for me.
It's kind of, I hate to always like bring up Van Halen, but like it's like the David Lee Roth.
Sammy Hagar, of course.
Sammy Hagar is objectively the Miles Kennedy of his day. He has a great voice, he can sing, but those like classic Van Halen moments are all David Lee Roth.
Well, David Lee Roth has charisma for days, right? So, I take it we're not going to talk about Gary Sharon's one record with.
Oh no, we're not going to talk about "Fire in the Hole," which is probably the only good song on that album from that Lethal Weapon movie.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But yeah, Jesse's great. Adam D is obviously hilarious. I hope he was just as funny with you as well.
Yeah, like I got some really lovely like quotes and quips out of him about the new album at the time, and he's just a really positive lad.
That album was really good, by the way. I feel like it didn't quite get the recognition it deserved, but the Signal Fire obviously was their biggest hit from that. But some good tunes on that, man. As Sure as the
Really
Sun
good.
Will Rise and
Crownless King is probably my favorite.
Crownless King featuring Chuck Billy from Testament.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. No,
But
definitely,
sorry, Tom, carry on.
yeah, definitely. Like, I had a lot of fun with those Killswitch guys, and I hope I run into them on the road. Speaking of Killswitch, we've got the download lineup up.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
we are going to get onto the download line because obviously we have had some new additions.
Yeah.
Which I will list off right now for you, and you can just give me your feelings or thoughts.
Help me scroll down as well, because I don't know where they are on the,
all right, so
the page.
You know what? That Saturday is going to be really popping for me.
Yeah.
We've already gone through the Saturday, so we're not going to keep it too long because that was like 4.5 hours or something, this podcast. But we'll go through the new additions. So Aaron Jones.
Where is
Do you know
he?
anything about them?
Where is he?
I don't even know if it's a he or a she or a band or.
I thought it was. There we go. So it's the Friday on the second stage. He's first up. So I don't really know anything
it's a
about
guy.
Aaron Jones.
It's a guitar player who has performed with the likes of BB King and Run DMC. That's quite a mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No idea who he is though. Not really heard his music, but good luck to him. He's playing Download. Nice one.
Wicked.
Boston Manor.
That is really going to attract Katie to download, definitely. Boston Manor.
Yeah.
Where are they? This is like, where's Wally?
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. Okay. So they're on the Avalanche stage on the Sunday.
Yeah. I thought they might be. Any thoughts on Boston Manor, Tom?
I like them. I think they're a really, really, really good band for what they do. Obviously, they kind of trope in the Wonder Years kind of realm. I love the Wonder Years.
I love the Wonder Years. Actually, they released a new song the other day called Breakless, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, because I thought they'd gone away for a while, and then I became a bit disheartened by, I missed the Wonder Years, because I think the Wonder Years are a good band to have at downloads for a bit of a party aspect.
Yeah, well, I just love that heartland sounding pop punk. You know, there's two sides of the spectrum for pop punk. Me, there's there's three. There's the kind of emo, more shoegaze side of pop punk. There's the full blown teeny bop pop punk, and there's like the heartland kind of real Bruce Springsteen inspired Gaslight Anthem,
kind of
Wonder Years, Menzinger's kind of side of pop punk. You know, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dead Poets Society.
Where are you,
them?
Wally? I don't know. I've heard the name, but I haven't heard much about Dead Poets Society.
It's a Robin Williams film, isn't it? They're just going to screen the Robin Williams film.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. No idea, I'm afraid. They sound like they could be a country/blues rock band with that name.
Possibly.
To me.
Or they could have like surprise vocalist Macaulay Culkin or something along those lines. As their
Michael says in chat, by the way. Well, Murray Man says Saturday is stacked. Yeah, it definitely is. We'll get onto that. Michael also says I really like the Boston Manor that came out this year. I wasn't aware there was a Boston Manor album that came out this year, but I'll give it a shout.
Found them. There they are. Yeah. Dogtooth Stage on Friday. So
is this Dead Poets Society, Dogtooth Stage Friday, The Descendants. Now,
classic.
Now that this really is, for my mind, one of the first ever pop punk bands, really, in the modern sense of the word.
Definitely one of the most influential of their time period. Milo Goes to College is a classic album. Honestly, I just wanted to turn up and play all of that, to be fair.
It has happened at Download before. Bands have focused on one album to play through from beginning to end. And
that would be actually a really highlighted set. Like, I'm enjoying the kind of the third stage kind of deal at the moment. I've never seen Funeral for a Friend. I love them. They're a great band. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, Kieran will talk your ear off about Funeral for a Friend. That's his camp, right?
That is mine.
Yeah, The Descendants is going to be a highlight. Also, I want to talk about the Sinners and Megadeth.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute.
Massive drop. Megadeth especially is taking a massive drop, and that is very noticeable in the lineup. And I want to talk about that.
All right. Well, we might as well. We'll get back to the next two bands I have on the list, but we might as well go straight to Megadeth then if we're heading that way.
Yeah.
I am a very much a long time fan of this band. The first metal band I think I ever got into and considered myself a fan of. is Megadeth.
I think the reason.
And,
oh, sorry.
No, go on, Karen.
I think the reason I got into Megadeth was because in a Trivium music video that I saw Corey wearing a Megadeth shirt. I think it was in the "Dying in Your Arms" music video.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I got into them because of the Behind the Music documentary that VH1 did, and I was kind of into Megadeth at the time. I heard a few songs and I was like, oh, this band seemed really interesting. What any documentaries, and the whole behind the music documentary by VH1 on Megadeth is well worth a watch. It's probably the best behind the music they've ever done.
Yeah,
it really is. But I have Dave's book as well, Mustaine, and I mean, obviously he's a polarizing figure, right? But he's always been. I've always had a bit of respect for him. The way he left Metallica on such unamicable terms and then forged his own career path, did his own thing, was so successful, and still going today. And he's beating cancer as well.
I remember reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I remember him using a chapter on the measure of success, and one of the examples was Dave Mustaine, and it was about how you measure yourself as a success, and the whole Some Kind of Monster documentary thing kind of showed that he didn't consider himself a success unless he proved himself to be bigger than Metallica, which obviously hasn't
not
happened.
Quite. It didn't quite happen for them, did it? But they gave it a bloody good go.
Yeah,
like
they did, yeah.
Countdown to Extinction got at number 2 on the Billboard chart in 1992, and that is a hell of a feat for a metal band.
But the story got compared with the Beatles' first drummer, Pete Best. And he got
no. Dave Mustaine is no. Dave Mustaine is no Pete Best.
Let me finish. I'm trying to. No, what I was trying to say was because they kicked him out, he saw new value in having a family and things like that. So his success was based on that. So he found his own measure of success. That was what I was trying to say.
Fair dues. No, I agree with you. I'm glad he's found success in his own terms. Murray Mann says that new Rust in Peace book is excellent, if anyone knows about it. Because obviously we just had the anniversary of Rust in Peace. Probably their landmark album, arguably, the quintessential Megadeth record. I mean, Tom, we haven't really got to your thoughts on Dave Mustaine or Megadeth yet. So what were you going to say about them?
So ask me the question about Megadeth 10 years ago. I would have said one of my favorite bands ever. Like one of my favorite bands, possibly they're within my top 20 favorite bands ever. Probably bottom of that 15, going on to 10 list. Rust in Peace is a classic. So is Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? So is Countdown to Extinction. I did used to hold the opinion that they were better in the 90s than Metallica. Obviously, that is now changed completely. I love Metallica's Load album more than most people.
Oh god, I'm so glad you say that, Tom, because Load is honestly my second favorite Metallica album behind Master of Puppets. It's so great. It's so underrated.
It's a great, but I think Euthanasia. Euthanasia is definitely a better album in some ways, but I think Megadeth were always kind of appealing. The problem I have with Megadeth is that their beliefs kind of is skewed closely to mine politically originally.
Yeah,
Dave Mustaine became sober and more of a Christian. It started to become a little bit, like when old rock fans look at Ted Nugent. I look at Dave Mustaine as a bit like Ted Nugent.
I don't think he's that bad in terms of his right-wing beliefs.
I just think
he can be a gobshite sometimes, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but then so am I. So I can't judge. But at the same time, I love Megadeth. I think they're a great addition to the lineup. The drop is noticeable. Yes, they're headlining the second stage. They deserve to be on a premiere thing. And at a festival like Download, the second stage isn't necessarily a bad thing. Rob Zombie is as big as he is. You've got Killswitch who are headlining and Steel Panther who are also headlining on the Saturday and Sunday.
Slayer did their last gig there in the UK last year.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't, I think Dave knows at this point Megadeth, I don't want to say the word over the hill because I think they've got a lot more in them, given Dystopia's success. But it's not like they're going to just play the whole of Dystopia in full. I do believe it's going to be chock full of their greatest hits. And whilst people, because I've seen Megadeth twice, last time at Download, they had to tune down 2 half steps to suit Dave's voice because obviously Dave. I feel like I was at the last gig where Megadeth played in half step down / standard tuning, which was at Download 2012. And ever since then, they've gone down to a whole step down to suit Dave's voice because he was really struggling before Kiko came into the picture and during the Super Collider years.
Yeah. Do you think that had anything to do with the way he did vocals in the 90s and late 80s?
Oh, absolutely. He's not
really
a natural singer.
Out.
He's not a natural singer. He didn't learn to sing properly. The only reason he sang in Megadeth was because no one else would do it.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Considering he's not a natural singer, he's done very well to get to where he is now.
I think his vocal style, he's not Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie Dio, but
who is
Hetfield isn't that either. But like I love like his vocal tics. It's great at karaoke. He's sweating bullets. That's all I'm saying.
I love doing sweating. I've done it at the Dev whenever we've been at the Dev for karaoke. I've done sweating bullets. But yeah, so Megadeth, I am looking forward to seeing again. I'm certainly going to see them over Kiss. Let's put it that way.
Same.
I'm a big fan of both, but I think I haven't seen Megadeth since 2012 live, so I need to go and see them. So I think I'm going to go see Megadeth.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so Fire from the Gods. Do you know them?
The only time I listened to them, they released. I can't remember the name of the song, but I think their lead singer has quite a powerful voice, and it's not necessarily like they kind of seem like a bit of a run-of-the-mill band to me. Like there's not a whole lot that stands out personally.
Well, what are they? What sort of genre are they? Because I've never heard.
Kind of, I don't know. Could you say like modern metal? Because I can't really. I can kind of put them in the metalcore genre, but in some cases they're kind of not. They kind of remind me of that sort of Bad Wolves kind of vibe in certain places of where they do music. So if you listen to Bad Wolves, it's kind of along those sorts of lines.
Ah, got you. So kind of mainstream American radio metal.
Kind of. Well, as far as what I've listened to, I can't really vouch for new stuff that I've listened to because I could be completely wrong. But
okay, and what day are they on? Sorry,
they are on. I don't know. Some of this font is really small, and then I whilst you were all talking, I found Descendants finally. Oh, there you go. They're on the Sunday on the Dogtooth stage.
Yeah, Sunday download next year does seem to be the classic rock kind of day.
Sounds like it, yeah.
But yeah, we speaking of which, we've got Massive Wagons, who I listened to a little bit of their album that they released this year. Can't remember quite what it's called, but it's got a TV on the front of it. And I really dig it. They're a kind of very much the AC/DC Wild Hearts power chords metal kind of camp.
I'll check that out. It definitely sounds like I'm a big fan of the Wild Hearts, so I'll definitely give that a
There we go. They're called House of Noise.
House of Noise.
I think someone like Airborne would be more akin to what the sort of music they do.
Oh, that's cool. I like it as well. So
yeah, that whole kind of power chord, very hard rock sounding.
So a little bit on the back foot from that. Twin Temple. I'm a big fan of Twin Temple.
Ah, yes.
They're on the third stage, just below Miles Kennedy and Haken.
Yes.
Haken.
I'll tell you what. Bees loves Twin Temple. He's always going on about him. He interviewed him actually on Mosh Talks. They're an odd one to describe, aren't they? Kind of gothic doo-wop is the best way I can describe them.
The wop.
Like I'm a big fan of serious artistic music, but I'm also a big fan of meany camp ridiculousness. And people are kind of like if you mash together like 50s doo-wop with Ghost and the Misfits from like the early 80s, that would be like the best comparison to make about what they do.
Well, they have that aesthetic, don't they?
Yeah. Also, the live show, from what I've heard, is incredible. Like, it's almost like they call their live show. Like, I usually kind of hate this when black metal bands do this. Like, our live show is a ritual. No, mate, it's a gig, you dickhead.
Pretentious, isn't it?
Yeah. But I like
just to interject for 1 second. That just reminds me of when some of my mates saw Batushka on the was it the Dogtooth stage last year at Download, and whilst they were lighting the candles and preparing their whole black metal ritual, some bloke from the crowd started going, "Happy birthday to you."
I remember that. Yeah.
No, that they kind of do that tongue-in-cheek, like kind of satanic visual, or in a really interesting way, and the music is genuinely quite upbeat. But instead, like, they have songs like Satan's a Real Woman, and it's a bit sexy and a bit cheeky. So I do like them.
Well, Murray Man in the chat says, "Satanic doo-wop, what's not to love?"
Exactly.
There you go. Right. Okay. So next up we have Monster Truck. Again, a very much a southern rock kind of / hard rock, but I have seen them live before at Download 2016. And I remember it was just so muddy and ridiculous, and the rain was pouring down. And I don't know, it seemed a bit of a weird fit. You know, you want a band like that to play in the sunshine.
Really? Yeah, because I like the fact that they're big and riffy. I like things that are big and riffy and a bit sort of, sort of in that kind of southern rock wheelhouse, like kind of music you'd ride down on a motorcycle to, but and like chew tobacco to. It's Undertaker type music, but at the same time, like, when Download is usually like 2 steps away from being a mud pile, like
doesn't really fit, does it?
No,
unless they get a bunch of pig farmers or something.
No, but I've always felt, felt this way about like Download booking. Like, I understand that Download is more than just a metal festival and more than just a rock festival, and why some of these bookings are necessary. But I've always felt a bit odd. Like, people go, "Oh, why don't Download book Leonard Skinner's?" Because Leonard Skinner are massive in the rock world, and they're legends. But at the same time,
it's not really Download, is it?
It's not really Download. That's more Rambling Man kind of fit.
Yes, that's a good shout. KB, do you have any thoughts on Monster Truck?
No.
Okay. Right. Moving swiftly on. North Lane.
I love North Lane.
Yeah,
I love them. Great band.
I think I would argue that like the album last year was quite a significant breakthrough for them, because they've had some pretty out there stuff from past albums, but I think this album was like really was highly talked about on social media last year. I remember everybody raving on about it. Even like I think Periphery were raving on about it, and guys from Bury Tomorrow. So yeah, I think from the back of that, I think North Lane are absolutely gonna steal the show at Download.
Did we do a North Lane tune on the Listen to This segment a few episodes back?
No, not necessarily. I'm just thinking of a TikTok I did, and I put North Lane in the background. But you
and your bloody TikTok, Kieran. Come on,
I can't help it. I'm obsessed.
Right, North Lane. I've never really gone full bore into them, but I feel like I would dig it because it's that sort of very technical sounding metalcore, and with atmospherics, presumably. I'm wearing a Loathe t-shirt, so I feel like
if you like Loathe, I would say you would like North Lane. So
okay, then sorry, Tom.
A friend of mine wants to. It's all right. A friend of mine wants to describe them as Deftones, but with Blade Runner synths, which is the best way to describe them.
Nice.
That's why I love them, because it's kind of the mix of my favorite thing from the 90s and my favorite thing from the 80s. So, anyway, continue on.
Brilliant. Yeah. Good stuff. Where are they playing? Just before we move on.
Sorry. Sorry, I got the cursor there. It's they're playing on the Sunday on the main stage.
Stop thinking about TikTok, Kieran. Wakey.
Right. I'm thinking about the lack of sleep I've had.
So, Renounced. Now, this is an interesting one, because Renounced, what I've heard, sounds very Killswitchy to me, which is always good, particularly early Killswitch.
So you're talking like first self-titled.
Yeah, very old school metalcore sounding, and
Okay, I'll check them out.
Their album, which I believe came out last year. Bear with me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Do you know much about Renounced?
Nope.
No,
this is
a first time thing for me.
yeah.
Oh, awesome! All right.
But I always like that thing about download is experiencing something new, because I find like there can be stuff at download that I can't. I refresh myself on. Like it's always fun to see bands like Gojira at download, but if it's too similar, then sometimes I might say Bloodstock.
That's the one. That's the album name. It's called God's sake, it's called Beauty is a Destructive Angel, and it came out last year. And if you're into your Killswitch, I reckon you'll like that.
I'll give it a shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like you said, it's always great to promote new bands on the download stage. Right, now here's one that Bees in particular and a lot of the Mosh Talks community have been absolutely creaming themselves over. Right, this is Will Gould from Creeper's side project, Salem.
I've heard about this.
So that explains why they're on the Avalanche stage on the same day as Creeper.
Will Gould is doing double duty at Download next year.
Really? Incredible.
Yes, on the same day, on the same stage.
He's trying to show Miles Kennedy up.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit, yeah. I think to part of my take on this, I have to add context of what's going on with Creeper, because Creeper have taken a massive drop this year, and it's not because of anything in particular. I think that the new album is great. It's a kind of harken back to sort of 70s David Bowie mixed with a little bit of the Ramone kind of deal they were doing on the last album, but obviously more focused on the Bowie light and shade of it all, with that new Creeper album. But I don't think it's hit people as hard as the debut or even the EPs before then.
That's interesting.
I remember when Creeper were like, you couldn't even talk to anyone in the rock community about someone going, "Oh, I have an opinion on Creeper. Like they're a great band. I hate them because they're the Misfits but more commercial. I hate them because they sound like AFI but without what makes classic AFI." But,
the AFI comparison is the most truest for me rather than Misfits. I think it's more of that kind of. They're not as punky as the Misfits, for me. But I don't know. I've just never really. Will seems like a bloody nice bloke, right?
He's lovely, absolutely lovely.
I don't know if you've ever interviewed him or met him at all.
No, I've met him. I met him very briefly at Metal Hammer Golden Gods Awards a few years ago, very briefly, and he was really lovely and very easy to talk to and very easy to kind of get to know, and was very much excited about where Creeper were going. Salem, I've heard a track or two. I thought, this is a bit different, bit kind of my thing, kind of not my thing. I don't know. It's from
the single that Bees has played. I feel like it's a return to Creeper's more punkier roots. It's basically Creeper, which is a thing a slight peeve I have with side projects. If you're going to do a side project, make it a little bit different to your main outlet. And this feels a bit derivative of Creeper to me. Is that fair to say?
That's kind of my issue with it. It sounds a bit like Creeper, and it's like this is like if Corey did it, like if Stone Sour sounded like Slipknot.
I mean, I guess I'm I was just getting onto Creeper on safe to say not really my cup of tea, but they are so popular and so out there that I respect them and I'm happy for their success. Particularly their success with this record, obviously, it got to number 5 in the UK charts. I mean, that's just unheard of for a non-commercial band. But at the same time, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit envious that out of the 3 promoted That's Not Metal bands, Puppy, Milk Teeth, and Creeper, Milk Teeth has split up. My boys Puppy are kind of floundering a little bit at the moment, and Creeper have just gone on to massive superstardom. So I'm a little bit bitter about that.
Yeah, like I think Milk Teeth are objectively more my kind of thing than a Creeper. And don't get me wrong, I like fucking weird, goth shit. Like, I'm a big fan of Type O Negative. I love Ghost, obviously. I've always on about how good Ghost are. But their kind of trappings I haven't really been in love with since... I haven't really been in love with since AFI did Sing the Sorrow, and that was years and years ago.
Yeah, it was 2003, nearly 20 years ago. But we have Murray Man on Salem saying, Will said on his Twitter it was his challenge to stay sober in between sets. Yeah, I can understand how that might be.
Yeah.
And also, just going back to Renounce briefly, Michael says that he saw them support Knock Loose last year. Very good fit for them. The album's decent too. So there you go. But that's Salem anyway. I will give the EP a chance. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but the tracks, yeah, it's okay. It's just, that's my thing with Creeper, or Salem. It's okay, right? And everyone's going on about their songs like they're the greatest thing ever. Yeah. I just have a bit of a hiccup with that.
People would say that if they're trying to get their band they feel is not as out there yet to that stardom. I felt the same about like Bleed From Within and bands like that. Like, I'm like, guys, listen to this. The masterpiece album.
That Bleed From Within album is amazing though.
Even the album before that was, but I digress. So what have we got next on the list?
Right, next on the list of new band announcements for download, we have Static Dress.
Static Dress. Okay.
Who are relatively new. They're kind of, and the best way of describing it is kind of in the Code Orange / Wargasm industrial kind of camp, Well,
I'm sold. Yeah.
And Bees really does reckon that this lot are going to be massive one day.
Nice.
And from what I've heard of them, yeah, they have kind of very much Nine Inch Nails / grunge sensibilities, but they're a bit kind of harder edged vocals,
that kind of music's gotten really popular recently, and I think it's a good thing, because I look at the download lineup this year and you've got Poppy, you've had Code Orange there before, you've had loads of really interesting stuff of that kind of world seeping into download. That I think down the line, next couple of years, we might have a little bit of the Billie Eilish on the main stage at download.
Oh, that's a shout.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
You do think it's gonna happen before the Foo Fighters headline download?
I think maybe the same year.
Oh, that's
maybe the same year. I just know. If you want to go for a big year.
Why can't people just like metal? Jesus Christ!
I dread the thought of download turning into Reading.
That's why I'm very cautious of bands like this. Unless you're Code Orange, unless you've got a bit of substance to you and a bit of testes with your music, I get a bit.
Oh no, trust me. Static. From what I've heard of Static Dress, they do go hard, very hard.
Oh, good. I'll give that a listen then.
But it's more in the sort of. Okay, when I said like the more industrial side, there's a hint of industrial in the kind of Code Orange sense, but I think it's more kind of alt metal / grunge / it's that sort of aesthetic, so if that's your bag, then fair enough. Right. Next band we have are the Ingester.
The Ingester.
Any ideas, chaps?
Nope. Not for me.
It sounds familiar, but I'm just trying to pinpoint.
And this is the Ingester with a J.
So like a court jester sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Right. I've just seen an image of this lot. Clowncore.
Oh no. Oh.
Hang on. Let me transition. So the Ingester is what you're trying to say.
Yes. And then look up just go on images.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
They look like in AEW, the Dark Order. If the Dark Order decided to do goth cosplay.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot tell you anything about them, but it seems like they're going for a Circus of Horrors vibe with it.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Performance art I imagine it's going to be some sort of crazy circus, new metal type deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully not a psychosexual, which is
I was going to mention psychosexual.
well, it's definitely one of the blights on this year. You thought coronavirus was bad. You haven't heard psychosexual.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
No idea really about them. We can go back to the download.
All
It'd be
right,
interesting to see
sounds
what stage they're playing on. I imagine it's Dogtooth somewhere.
good.
Because I've never heard of
I think we're missing a big band on there I want to talk about.
They're there, yeah.
Well, we only got a few more to go. So I'm going in alphabetical order as well. So bear with. The Scratch.
The Scratch. There we go. There they are.
And this band are
Scratchy.
It says rock. Is
Rock.
there? Here we go. Born from the ashes of Red Enemy, this Dublin-based quartet style fuses heavy metal tinged Irish folk. Oh dear.
Okay.
Hopefully not in the Aylestorm camp.
Oh no. I like more the Dropkick Murphys camp. Hopefully.
Yeah. So heavy metal tinged Irish folk with careful vocal harmonies delivered in a regional tone and a strong sense of local humour. Okay, well that's the band that everyone's going to get pissed to then, presumably.
Sounds good to me. That's if I don't get pissed on Wednesday and Thursday already. But
yes.
Stopping me.
So only a few more to go. The Skints. I have something to say about the Skints. One of the last gigs I went to this year was the Interrupters at Kentish Town Forum, and the Skints were supporting. And these guys really did blow me away. Honestly, like, if you love your, they're kind of, they have two-tone influence. They have British hip hop influence, bit of grime in there. The lead singer, she basically was picking up random instruments throughout the set and was able to absolutely shred them all with such like ease and gusto. She was like playing saxophone, then she did like a lead guitar solo, and I was just like, whoa, what do we have here? And I believe they were they did something with the Heavy Music Awards recently, but essentially great band, and it, well worth checking out, I would say, if you're into that kind of reggae dub, heavy dub kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's been popping up a lot in the sort of the last couple of years of download. That kind of aggressive street kind of dubsteppy metal.
It's not even metal, I would say. It's more sort of if you like the Clash, right? Which I love the Clash, right? Huge kind of more of their reggae kind of vibes from that, which I just love, with kind of very much deep dub, that kind of reverby deep dub sound.
Yeah,
that was born from London. There's a very London aesthetic to their sound. I think they've even called one of their songs "This Is London" or something.
London.
London.
Just going back to the scratch. Just going back to the scratch for a sec. Murray Man says, "Hey, that's an outdated Irish stereotype. It's true, but outdated." So fair enough.
No, but is it as timeless as "Hello Noggers"?
Hello, hello, happy days are here again.
Yeah.
Pace. I love the OS dub, lads. Right, only two more to go, and then we can move on to Halloweeny stuff.
And I've already scouted out the next one because I got the list.
Good stuff. Uncured.
Okay, no, got nothing.
Uncured. How I like my meat. No, I don't know. Never heard of them.
Okay, steady on.
Uncured. So this is. I typed in uncured BA in the first Google suggestion. Obviously, with uncured bacon, but so
there's nothing wrong with bacon.
Yeah, so they are an American progressive / technical death metal 4-piece from New York City. Okay,
all right, okay.
There you go. So if you like that sort of stuff, then check them out. And finally, and I believe this is probably the band you wanted to talk about, Tom, Venom Prison.
Yes, I love Venom Prison. Great fucking band. Love them since the first album. Looking forward to the new album. Love the EPs. Basically, aside from Power Trip, one of my favorite metal bands on the planet right now.
Nice.
great death metal. It is both heavy and melodic. Kind of, if you clash together the best bits of Cannibal Corpse with a little bit of Black Dahlia Murder, and there's a really, really awesome, like, hot, kind of feminist front woman fronting those bands, that's Venom Prison. They're great. They've been doing the rounds the last few years. Definitely, if you like sort of classic death metal, definitely up your street. Definitely up my street. You know, they are fantastic and a great live band. I saw them a few years ago.
I remember seeing them. Well, I didn't see them, but I remember seeing them on the lineup for supporting one of Trivium's tours. I think it was on the same one as Tooth Grinder. So yeah. I listened to a bit of them. I'm not sure if I could get into them at first, but I'll definitely give them another go because I know my music taste has changed in like in the last year, and I've opened myself up to more ideas of metal.
Yeah. There's no denying that this stuff is heavy, really, really heavy. So if you like Tom said, if you like your death metal, then Venom Prison is the one for you. And I believe they won best up and coming band or something at the metal at the Golden Gods or some award ceremony like that.
Yeah, like that. Metal Hammer are big on them. Metal Hammer, like other than maybe Code Orange, are the main band they're pushing to be, you know, to be kind of the future.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say Code Orange because Michael's just said they were the opening band of the Trivium Code Orange Power Trip tour.
There we go. Okay.
So that sounds like a lineup and a half.
Oh, yeah. No, I really wanted to go to that show and I had press tickets for it, but then at the time I wasn't really in the mood to go to gigs and I wish I'd gone, given current circumstances.
Well, see, mate, I wish I'd gone to that Real Big Fish gig with you and Dan.
Oh, that was freaking awesome.
But again, I wasn't in the mood. I had a terrible November last year where I was just really depressed and I was just like, oh, maybe. And it's like the one thing that will make me not depressed is Real Big Fish. I should have gone.
Yeah.
Let's dance.
And cheese, as a gig, it was fantastic. But yeah.
So that's the new download editions. Now, shall we move on to shall we get spooky up in this house?
Spooky skeletons.
Yeah.
Right. So seeing as it is Halloween, and presumably this is a Halloween special, we have decided to look up a few things, a few Halloween sort of misadventures, shall we say, to borrow.
And then I've got a really good example of a good Halloween costume, which has an interesting story to do with me. But yeah,
well, you might as well tell it now whilst we're getting this
set
up.
So I don't know if we can find the image on my Instagram.
You have an Instagram? What is your Instagram called, Tom?
It is the King of Rockaholic Style 128.
Sorry, was that too unsubtle?
Yeah, everything has to be very unsubtle with me on the face, like pro wrestling itself. But yeah, I dressed up as Painmaker Chris Jericho.
Yes. Yeah, was that when you went to Voodoo with Dan and Dan dressed up as Ozzy Osbourne?
And we did the best couples costume ever, Fozzy and it was incredible. I'm not sure whether we can find the image.
KB, see if you can bring up the image of that.
Because Jericho retweeted it.
All right.
So I can get the link to.
Well, in the meantime, I suppose whilst you're looking up this, Kieran, tell us about your love of Chris Jericho briefly.
So, Chris Jericho is my hero. He is my boy. He is my best boy. Little me in the moment. Like, I've been obsessed with Jericho since I was about 4 years old, and to have him, retweet, my stuff. I'm just sending it to. I'm gonna send it to Kieran on Facebook because I found it.
Fresh eyes.
No.
Well, yeah. So Chris Jericho, he's always been up there with my favorite WWE wrestling performers of all time, I would say. And there's just something so he was born with charisma. You know, I mean, there is the man got a list over a piece of paper in WWE. He got that over. There's not many people that can do that. Have you Found it yet?
Yeah, I'm going to send it in a sec. Hold on a sec.
All right, no worries.
But
yeah, also obviously now he's in AEW and he's on fire. I would say pretty much, right? He's doing his feud with MJF, and some bizarre musical thing that I saw.
Who's that? Michael J. Fox?
No, Michael J. Fox. To be fair, it's something like I'd imagine it's something Chris Jericho would do is to have a feud with Michael J. Fox.
Possibly.
Yeah, totally.
But actually, just another replug for your Predetermined podcast. You had Judas, which is his theme tune in AEW, as your favorite wrestling theme of all time.
Oh, it is.
And I was not the least bit surprised.
Yeah, even I think one of the best moments of the podcast was Ben just going, "You motherfucker! I knew this was gonna come." He's trying to look at my notes. He was sat on my bed over there, like trying to look at my notes while we were recording. I was like, "You're not seeing what's on my piece of paper, Benjamin." But yeah, and then he was like, "You motherfucker!" But yeah, I love Judas by Fozzy. It is his best theme tune. And this is a guy that's had so many theme tunes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, well, Break the Walls Down. Obviously, he had that brief thing about Right. So if you scroll through, you will eventually find Tom,
right,
and Dan dressed up as Chris Jericho and Ozzy Osbourne. No, not the comments, the pictures.
Oh, these. Oh, okay. So
no, up.
That costume is a lot more
arrow, right inside.
I see.
Like directing Manan.
Yeah, his mind's still on TikTok, Tom.
No, I'm a nan during COVID, and I'm trying to get used to technology.
Yeah, keep going.
That one.
There we go. There they are.
Ah, that's wonderful.
That is fantastic. Yeah. So that's us, like 3 pints in at Voodoo. I spent the entire night screaming "stupid idiot" at people. It was fantastic.
You just made the list.
You just made the list.
And obviously Dan has his Ozzy Osbourne impression, which is timeless.
Yeah. What a Sharon.
And he has a bat in his hand as well, which is hilarious.
Funny story about this: he couldn't actually see for the entire day, so we had to guide him around.
He's supposed to be Ozzy Osbourne, not Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. And it's really dark in there as well. Like, it's a really dark venue in Electroworks, and trying to guide, a taller Dan around everywhere while in character as Ozzy is hilarious.
Now that title you have on your shoulder, is that a replica or is that is that a real one?
That is a real replica that I've bought from Japan. It's in storage at the moment. Because
how much did it cost? Come on, be honest.
I bought that for my 21st birthday, and it was about 200 quid. Yeah,
beautiful though. It is beautiful, to be fair.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. I've got about 5 or 6 different title belts, and that's my particular favorite. I do want to get the world title, but the world title one is like $1,000 to even get, because New Japan don't make replicas. You have to get them made by someone else, and that's a custom. That one.
Chris. But Y2J putting your photo up on his profile. I bet you can die a happy man now.
Yeah, I can die. I've done many cool shits with my life, and that was one of the coolest shits that's ever happened.
I felt that way when Roddy Piper retweeted me once. I never let that day go.
Did he really?
Yeah, I can't remember which tweet it was. It was like a year before he passed, though.
Oh
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so when that day happened, I was like, I'll never forget that.
I don't think I've interacted with any wrestlers on Twitter.
If you do, just
I remember I went on Miro's Twitch at one point in the last few weeks, and I was giving him updates on the Bulgaria Ireland score from the Euros, and he was going, "No spoilers." I'm like, so needless to say, but anyway,
Miro's a Real Madrid fan, so his opinion doesn't count for shit. So
that is very true. Yeah. I guess we could briefly cover football. So you're a Leeds fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a Leeds United fan.
Doing all right so far.
Yeah, our defense. We've lost Phillips to injury recently, but our defense has been so bad. But we've been really good at countering against the bigger teams and putting on that pressure of a Balencia football. But at the same time, I'm not worried about us. I think we're better than a lot of mid-period Premiership teams, but I think we need a better defense. I think.
Well, I do think Bielsa is the right man to carry you forward.
Yeah,
no,
because he has just that right. He has that right combination of slightly mental but tactical mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know. But you need more Portuguese players, mate. Clearly.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, not half isn't being satisfied enough. I'm also a Benfica fan.
Nice.
I'm also a Benfica fan as well. Yeah. So I grew up with my dad. My dad's Portuguese, so my dad grew up as a Benfica fan. Met my mum 20 years ago. Had me and my brothers, and then they have separate families. But my dad's a Man United fan, but my granddad's a Leeds fan.
Yeah,
which I find fucking.
I bet those Christmas dinners are really awkward. Man United and Leeds. Jeez.
Yeah,
Murrayman mentioned in the. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, Murrayman mentioned in the chat about Patrick Bamford. What was your reaction when that happened?
Oh, the hat trick.
Yeah.
I was okay. So funny story context. I was at work at the time, and I was obviously keeping in touch with the score because obviously I have like notifications that go through my Twitter to every time Leeds score. And the head chef at my pub was having a go at me, saying, "Oh, Aston Villa are going to crush you. They've got Grealish. They're really good." And then it was like, "Oh, really, mate?" And then after I finished my shift, I sent him the score. It's like 3-0. And I was like, "Yes, go Bamford." Because I think Bamford gets a bad stick, and he's a good player. He's just, obviously, he's got ways to go.
For me, he's Nicholas Bentner type. He misses a lot more chances than he scores, but he has a lot of chances. You know?
He creates a lot of chances for us. It's like, Phillips kind of goes back on the defense, but he also is a really good attacking midfield player. So I think we definitely need a couple more aces in that deck. I think
more aces in the hole. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think we're better than a lot of the lower part of the table, but we're not top 4, top 6 worthy.
Yeah. Just quickly mentioning that that thing the gloating that you gave your boss. That reminds me of when I was down at uni in Canterbury, and this was in 2013, I think. And Arsenal were playing Reading in the Carling Cup, and we were 4-0 down at half time to Reading, right? And the actual manager of the bar that I was in, or the student bar I was in, we were part. I was part of the football fan society at school, right? And we were in this room playing FIFA on the Xboxes they had in this bar. And the guy comes in and goes, "All right, is there any Arsenal fans in here?" And I'm going, "Oh, expecting us 4-0, 4-0. What's going on there then?" And he walks back out again. And then lo and behold, we win 7-4. So I'm immediately tempted to wander back in the bar and just grab his face and just go Mwah! On his face.
That is a proper FIFA game in itself.
It really was quite mental. But yeah, Leeds doing quite well so far. I reckon you'll stay up.
Yeah, we'll stay up. I'm not going to go down. I think there's other. Look at the state of. No, West Ham did well against Tottenham the other day, so I can't really.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but that's because Tottenham are a bunch of bosslers.
Yeah, true. Even though
sorry, KB. Sorry.
No, I mean the thing is, like, I'll say this: after the whole 6-1 win against Man U, everyone was saying, "Oh, we got a good chance of winning the title and things like that." But I'm thinking, hang on a second, just because we won 6-1 to Man U doesn't
a very bad Man United side.
It doesn't guarantee that we're gonna do the same against all the other games. You gotta look at the track record of our players, and like I was mentioning to you before the podcast, Rob, Sanchez, Harry Winks, a lot of the players like that. They're not. We need a lot more consistency from the players that we're gonna pick to let the best players rest, and we just haven't got that at the moment. I don't think.
Well, I'm a little bit conscious of the time because you need to go, don't you, Tom?
Yeah, I've got in the next 10 minutes, I've got to go off stream, and that's
all right.
I'm going to work.
Okay, well, I think we'll say now. Thank you so much for coming on, mate. Honestly, it's been so much fun.
If you want to invite me again, I'll be really happy to come back on.
We would love to have you back on, honestly.
And it's been really good. I wish I could stay until the end, but I can't, obviously, because I've got to go to work and earn that rent money because Daddy
Make
moves.
that dollar.
Dollar, dollar.
And he's
Ching, ching, ching.
ching, ching.
Tempted to walk like Shane McMahon now.
Yeah. I've got to go and do the adult thing of getting my washing out, flicking it around my room, and putting it on my drawer, getting my shoes on, getting my...
Absolutely. Well, mate, we'll leave you to it. But please do out there go and listen to the Predetermined podcast on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, and definitely check out my Instagram. It's at King of Rockaholic Style 128 as well.
Yes.
They've spent this entire thing plugging the shit out of my work, and I'm very grateful of it. So it's good to see you, lads, and I hope I get to come back.
No worries, man. And just sorry, one last plug. Your new podcast you mentioned. What was it called again?
Story of Our Lives.
Story of Our Lives.
In the next few weeks, I'm planning a few recording sessions with people, and then it will be uploaded. It will be musicians, some of my best friends on the planet, talking about growing up listening to music. And what the first ever episode is going to be someone I've known for about 20 years. Someone I've known me since the beginning, and she's a good friend, and we're going to talk about growing up together as metal fans and going to our first festivals together and everything to do with that. So
fantastic. All right. Well, go and listen to Story of Our Lives when it comes out. Well, thank you so much, Tom, again for joining us, and have a nice day at work.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Cheers.
All right. Awesome.
Right.
So Tom De Silva there.
Oh,
mate, it was so good to talk to. I'll tell you.
No worries. I think, bear with me a second, because we got a bit of technical issues since he left, so I just got to close something. Bear with me, guys.
It's all good.
I didn't expect the podcast to still be going on even afterwards, so there we go. Okay, so that's fine.
Oh, I have a disembodied head, it seems.
Not anymore. I've glued it back together.
You glued it back together. All right, well, we'll continue with our Halloween escapades anyway.
Absolutely. So, all right, so if I... Bear with me a second, because it's... And
now we can take our time and have as much... chance talking absolute rubbish as we please. So these are bad Halloween costumes, right?
All right. So
and you've just Googled this on Pinterest.
Well, not Google it specifically on Pinterest, but Pinterest seemed to bring up the best results. I'm just looking at the one with the shoe. I don't know. So first up, we've got a guy who just soiled himself.
Oh God!
Is that? I thought that was like a squished monkey or something. I don't know.
No. Why would you? Who benefits from that costume?
Not him, at least. I mean, he's not getting into any nightclubs. If it was before 2020.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Second one, we've got a woman who's disguised herself as a dog. That's like cotton, is it? Cotton boobs?
I don't even want to... There's a bunch of furries out there who are going to be very pleased with this, but I'm not for me.
I will call this one... I will call this one the Furry Karen.
Oh, God.
There we go. Okay, next on the agenda... What the f... Oh, that's pretty cool. Why is that in the worst costumes? I like the idea of that. It's a crow, and it's eating the person's eyeball out. See the eyeball there.
I think it's the fact that she has a motorbike helmet on her head.
Possibly
kind of shatters the illusion slightly.
Yeah.
As if there's like a hidden thing there.
Although it could be a message. If you thought you only needed a helmet, you're going to need some goggles too, because you never know what's out there. Okay. So next we've got, what kind of... Is that supposed to be like a Mr. Miyagi sumo wrestler or something?
Angry... No, but just the fact
that it's called Angry Asian Man.
Angry Asian Man.
It's like, what are you going to dress up for this?
God's sake.
Something racist.
Yeah. Oh my word. Angry.
Okay. Oh, no. We'll just skip that one. For God's sake. Well, actually, that one's not as bad, but look at that. Look at those abs, man. Jeez.
Now that reminds me less of Miley Cyrus and more of Jim Carrey's fitness instructor character from In Living Color.
What's the difference?
Not that much, presumably, but look up Jim Carrey fitness instructor on Google.
All right. I will do after this, but
After this, trust me.
okay. Elvis.
I've already told. No, see, that is very accurate.
Is that a
Late
bruise or a
period
tattoo?
Elvis. No, see, late period Elvis, that is very accurate because he was a bit of a fatso.
Ah, okay. I won't say anything.
Just
mean
I'm not
about
sure.
Elvis.
I'm just not sure he was standing in front of like a British pier with an ice cream van.
So, oh no, that's scary. I fear not being able to fit into my own shoe.
Yeah. Oh my word. Not sure really sure what you can say about that. Really,
I mean,
it's a shoe.
Michael Jordan would be proud, maybe.
Oh, Michael Jordan. We've already gone on about him.
This is Spider-Man as soon as he loses his job due to the multiverse. Miles Morales just
there's probably a multiverse. If that Spider-Man was in the multiverse, excuse me, if that Spider-Man was in the multiverse film, it would heighten it to Infinity War levels of good.
Instead of climbing up buildings, he'd be just rolling up them.
Keep rolling.
Shalom, Jackie.
Oh dear.
Well, that's
what is that?
That is a Jewish Wolverine. Oh, now
Jewish
I get it.
Wolverine.
Look, it's got the candles there, and then it's got the blunt blades apparently, and the very real looking abs, and he's not saying I don't know if he's going to say bub or I don't know what's the Jewish version of that. Of saying bub.
No. Let's not get into this.
I don't know.
We can
That was a genuine question.
We can offend so many people.
Well, I don't know. Just wondering.
Yeah. Batushka or something. I don't know.
That's why he's so happy because he's drunk his Kool-Aid. Not too bad.
Oh, that is that. Oh no, honey, why?
I really hope he's wearing. I don't think he's wearing underwear, but I'll.
What is that? What is that third picture?
Third picture
along the bottom.
Homie.
Oh, Jesus, no!
I showered in acid, homie. And then you just see this one.
Why?
Here.
That is nightmare.
That's even worse. Oh wow. Okay then. Okay.
I think we get the idea at this point. There is so many bad costume artists.
No. Oh my God.
No. Why?
Why is it? That just looks like the same baby giving birth. I don't know at this point.
No, that's horrendous.
Did anybody order a Chipotle? Oh man. Oh no, I gotta keep. Oh no. Okay. Now it's getting even worse.
Right, that's enough. No more.
It's getting worse. No. Happy Halloween, guys.
Yeah, we've already gone far too far down the rabbit hole.
All right, let's just jump straight on to listen to this and
yes.
Hope I can.
All right, well that's our bad Halloween costume segment. I didn't expect it to go that.
It's very much
dark.
an understatement. I'll be honest.
Yeah, bad is very much the operative word for that. Right. So first off, I'm going to put Tom's choice down. He unfortunately couldn't stay for the whole duration, obviously, because he had to go to work. But he did send us a song for both of us to listen to. And if I can find it, yeah. Again, make sure you all check out his podcast, the Predetermined podcast. They talk about wrestling. It's an awesome time, and he's a good mate of ours. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes, this is it. So, Mr. Bungle. What are your experiences or feelings or whatever towards Mr. Bungle? Do you even know who they are?
No, I do not at all. So I'm going into this one very, very blind.
Right then, Mr. Bungle are one of Mike Patton's many side projects. Probably his best known side project, I would say.
Well, I'm sold now if you mention Mike Patton.
And Mike Patton, obviously, very much the renaissance man of rock/metal. A very much an idiosyncratic individual, total creative flowing juices all over the place with all of his projects. You have Tomahawk, you have Mr. Bungle, you have Italian operatic stuff that he does. Obviously, the biggest one, Faith No More.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Bungle have been going for years and years and years and years. They've come back together with a whole new lineup, which includes one Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Whoa, okay. Surprising me by the minute.
Yeah, and this particular tune by them comes from their latest record, which is called The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny Demo.
Okay. Even more surprised.
So I haven't heard this, actually. And at least I don't think I've heard this. But this is Tom's recommendation to us, for both of us to listen to.
Right.
To start us off. And I believe this album is a re-recording of songs from their very first demo before they released their first album.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't really know what to expect going into this. So have you got it open, queued up?
So the song is called Grizzly Adams, you said?
Grizzly Adams. It's the opening track on the album.
Okay, so I've got it open here. So whenever you're ready, on go.
Right then, 3, 2,
hang on, sorry.
1. Oh,
there we go. Okay, better. Try again.
Right then, 3, 2, 1, go.
Bit of trance to start off with.
Oh, I really like those guitars.
It sounds like sanitarium style.
Yes, very chimey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sanitarium is a good shout.
It's quite spooky, isn't it, as well? It's like that weird, eerie vibe to it.
It is, yeah. Oh, shit. What's going on here? I'm just wondering if this is Scott Ian playing this, because he's more known for his rhythm guitar attack, isn't he?
Yeah.
All the power chords. I'm just wondering if he's doing the arpeggiated bits as well. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I do like this a lot. It's weirdly discordant yet melodic. These kind of natural harmonics that they're utilizing and everything.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a bit of slide guitar in this as well. It's almost like some sort of, Slipknot's debut album, they had those creepy kind of lullaby interludes.
Yeah.
Sort of reminds me of that, slightly.
Yeah, you make a good point, Rob.
Thank you. You know what, I've decided after this one, if this is an instrument... Oh, there we go.
Hold your horses.
Yes. After this one, we're also going to listen to the following track, just because I expected vocals on this one, there isn't any.
All right.
We're also going to do the next track, which is Anarchy Up Uranus, which is an amazing name for a song.
Can I put that in the YouTube title?
Be my guest.
Sure.
Just get us demonetized right off the bat.
Just, wow. It's a scientific term for the bumhole, so...
Just put Grizzly Adams and more. But let's see what this song holds. Here we go. This is more like it.
Air assist, is it? Ah.
That is Scott Ian all over.
Well, I think you're kind of listening to this on your own. Can we start from the beginning? Sorry, I know it's live.
Let's start. Oh, What did it? Was it on shuffle or something?
It shuffled, yeah.
All right,
I didn't
okay.
realize it didn't have it on. For some reason.
So this is the following track after that one. It was a good opener, yeah. So this is Anarchy Up Uranus, which is the second track on the Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo by Mr. Bungle. You queued up?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Ah, there we go.
There's Scott Ian, I told you.
I think track 3 is called Raping Your Mind, so...
Yeah, we'll just stick to this one, I think.
You are a bold and courageous person, afraid of nothing.
This just reminds me of Metal Up Your Ass.
Wow, it seems that KB has done a voiceover on this.
Remember, guys, lights out.
It sounds like you putting on a voice.
Hello. I am the Anarchy Demon. Window in a tower of the old house. You decide to investigate, and you never return.
Oh, here we go. Halloween vibes in this.
Sounds like what's her name from Emperor's New Groove. Sounds like Fight Fire with Fire.
I would have said Angel of Death with that scream.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Slayer all over.
Auschwitz, the meaning of pain.
This is definitely Anthrax vibes.
Yeah. Serious thrash elements in this.
Like Metal Thrashing Mad or something like that.
I just love the fact that Mike Patton's voice is so diverse, it can fit into any genre. You know, this is thrash metal. Faith No More is kind of funk metal. You know, Tomahawk is like atmospheric kind of spooky metal. And now it's this sort of stuff.
I didn't even think it was Mike Patton. That is the magic of it.
Well, there you go. So that is both Grizzly Adams and Anarchy Up Uranus, which I keep giggling whenever I say it, by Mr. Bungle from their most recent album, which is The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. Thoughts initially, KB?
It reminds me of Donnie Darko with the rabbit.
Well, the album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. But what about the tunes?
Yeah, like I said, like very much Anthrax vibes, like, you know, the 80s kind of Anthrax that you'd hear. Mixture of Angel of Death and Fight Fire with Fire by Metallica on Ride the Lightning. But overall, I think it's just it carries those vibes and still like brings in transitions that you just don't get used to hearing from previous. So and the way Mike Patton has mixed up his voice in this song, you wouldn't even think it's Mike Patton, you know.
Well, here's the really interesting thing, because the fact you don't know Mr. Bungle gives a nice kind of fresh perspective.
Yeah.
On that song, because when I first heard this, I was kind of taken slightly aback because Mr. Bungle usually doesn't sound like this at all. From the stuff I've heard, if you listen to a track from their debut album like Squeeze Me Macaroni, which is all over the place, it's kind of almost funk metal, like super avant-garde funk metal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the furthest thing from super or super funky or avant-garde. That is just pure thrash.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can
the fact they're so diverse with it, you know, it's just really interesting to me. And the opening track, I really like the guitar work. I like the chimes. I like the eerie atmosphere of it. Very much Welcome Home Sanitarium kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%.
Good stuff. All right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to check out the album because I am a massive Mike Patton fan.
Yeah.
Fan of Faith No More. Massive fan of Tomahawk, who are really underrated. I will give this album a go.
All right. Okay, Rob. So I've already got it loaded up, as you can see on my screen. The band Fit for an Autopsy. I think this is a band that I always like say to people if they like stuff like Gojira or they like elements of deathcore or something and they want to hear something new, Fit for an Autopsy is definitely a band that puts that out there. It's full of just like sort of chuggiest riffs and technical elements that you hear in parts of deathcore and as other similar genres. But in terms of the band themselves, they're described as an American deathcore band. I'd say that's a bit loose, but they're from Jersey City in New Jersey, formed in 2008. Band members, you've got Will Putney on guitars, Pat Sheridan on guitar, Ozian Orta on drums, Tim Howley on guitars, Joseph Badalato on lead vocals, and Peter Blue Spinazzola on bass. So you've got 3 guitars there. So interesting mix. I mean, the only other place I've seen that is like in Iron Maiden with Yannick. So they've released their albums that they've released so far. They've had Process of Human Extermination in 2011, Hellbound in 2013, and then one of the breakthrough sort of albums, Absolute Hope, Absolute Hell, which really just just gave them this new sound that they stick with now, and it's really interesting.
Put them on the map, would you say?
Yeah, exactly. And then The Great Collapse in 2017 with songs like Heads Will Hang, really stealing the show, and their album that released last year called The Sea of Tragic Beasts, which carries on that tradition of what you'd hear on the last 2 albums, and you're going to hear some interesting stuff in this. And for this song, it's just going to get right into it. And it's the first song off the album, and it is the title track, The Sea of Tragic Beasts. So, awesome. Rob.
Well, I don't know. Can I just say, I don't know anything about this band, but KB has been shouting my ear off about listening to them for years now.
Absolutely.
And I'm not a deathcore guy. I'm right off the bat. I keep saying this every episode. I'm not a huge fan of deathcore. Whether this will change upon listening to this, I don't know. But you say that they're good, and I like to trust your judgment. So,
okay. So on the count to go, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, very much a Gojira riff to open up with that pick scrape, the harmonic scrape. Oh, I love that riff.
Yeah, that's why I picked this song above the other ones.
Didn't you say, I bet, Rob, you said to me before, I bet you'll compare this to Gojira.
Yeah.
Before listening to it. But I can't help it. That's the sound, that harmonic pick scrape type thing. Oh, very nice.
I love the pronunciation in his voice as well.
Yeah. Nice. I didn't expect a clean chorus in a deathcore song.
And funny fact, well, not funny, but awesome fact, he can do these cleans so good live.
Is it the same bloke doing both vocals?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Because obviously Bury Tomorrow, the guitar player does the clean vocals, and the main lead vocalist does the growls.
Yeah. Watch their.
So he's doing both with these.
Yeah.
These growls and then the cleans.
Yeah.
That's super impressive.
Yeah. Watch them live in the K-pit.
I like those gang crowd kind of chanty pre-chorus vocals. Oh, here we go. Thought that was going to be in Mosh Cool then. Just waiting for it. I like how technical this riffage is, you know.
Yeah, like this is very much like a sort of deathcore thing you'd hear.
But I like it's yeah, it's that awesome chorus coming in again. Is it fair to say Bury Tomorrow and Gojira in one for this lot?
Possibly. I'm not sure about Bury Tomorrow, but I can see Gojira in some parts.
Well, just the cleans remind me of his cleans in Bury Tomorrow.
I would say Gojira and Thy Art Is Murder sort of thing. Because he's got a similar voice to...
Oh, I tell you what, I actually really like Thy Art Is Murder's new stuff that I've heard. So I say I don't like deathcore, but I listened to Thy Art Is Murder's new songs on Beez's stream.
Yeah.
And dug them.
Have you seen...
But yeah,
I'll ask after the song.
yeah, no worries. Wow. I enjoyed the hell out of that, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I thought
that
you might.
That was really cool.
So, yeah, that was the Sea of Tragic Beast. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, I've got to say, you know, I was on about deathcore beforehand. That, to me, I don't know, I always associate deathcore as being the super low Whitechapel-esque kind of those sort of vocals. Whereas that was more straight ahead kind of metalcore almost sounding to me.
Kind of, yeah.
But it was very technical, elements of Gojira in there, elements of Bury Tomorrow. I really like the kind of very technical chuggy breakdown. Love the chorus, the clean chorus. And I mean that for me that opening riff was the star of the show.
Yeah, that's like the first song on the album, you know, you can't get much better than that. And because you mentioned Thy Art Is Murder, I probably show you one of my favourite Thy Art Is Murder songs next week. Maybe we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've really enjoyed. I don't know why I had this aversion to that. I think I just can't abide by really super low kind of walrus-esque.
Well, I can understand because
you get in that Waking the Cadaver band or whatever.
Yeah,
you know, the pig squealy stuff is just not my taste at all.
I know what you mean, because like at the start they were like Suicide Silence and bands like that. Like I could never get fully into Suicide Silence or
early Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, or like like some. I do like Chelsea Grin, but I think they're one of the bands I like a bit less than other deathcore bands like Fit for an Autopsy. So, it's
Attila as well. Is that
Attila? Yeah, they do have elements of deathcore, and I like that.
But,
I like the song Pizza. I think the satirical side of things is pretty cool. Yeah. Or
honestly,
that's the other one as well.
That was absolutely great. I mean, if it's is the album like this, or is it more kind of?
I would say for the most part, yeah. You've got a lot of the technical stuff. You've got some atmospheric stuff in there as well. If I could name some other songs I like off the album, there would be Warpath is a good one. Warfare, sorry. I was thinking of a different song completely. Warfare, Your Pain Is Mine, Shepherd, No Man Is Without Fear, all good ones, even Mirrors. Mourn is another one. So yeah, just give the album a listen in its entirety.
I will definitely give that album. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Thanks. For that.
And I guarantee if you like that album, you will like the past two albums as well, The Great Collapse and Absolute Hope, Absolute Hell. Sorry, can I apologise for the fact that it's taken me this long to listen to them, because I know you're a fan of theirs and you've been harping on about me to get on it for a while now. So mate, there's so many bands I'm like, why did I only just listen to this? Like, I think Deftones is a bit of an example of that.
What are the chats saying before we move on to my one?
Nothing.
Because I can't get them up on. I can't get up the chat on my phone anymore for some reason.
I think Leisurely said Ocean Size had 3 guitarists as well, so it's just about the description of Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah. They do indeed, yeah, and also Foo Fighters, of course.
Okay. I think
is that the. I've just seen what Merryman says about the Faith No More one. Is that the sequel to Anarchy on Uranus? Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Okay, well, that was Fit for an Autopsy with The Sea of Tragic Beasts. So, Rob.
Right then. Okay, so my choice for you, KB. Now, this is a band that I've become very, very fond of the past few years. And I feel like next year could really be a breakthrough year for them.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of mainstream recognition and appeal. And it's on the strength of 2 songs so far that I say that statement. The first one is called Silver Spoon. And the band I'm talking about is Teenage Wrist. This new song that they released a few years ago, which is called Earth is a Black Hole, is the title track from their
few years ago.
Pun?
You said a few years ago.
A few years ago?
We're a bit late. When you said they released this song a few years ago, I think you mean a few days ago.
I'm still tired. Give me a break.
We're a bit late to the party.
Wait, what? Did I say that about Silver Spoon?
You said it about the song, the latest song.
All right, cut that. Right.
So it was funny.
He's not gonna. This fucker isn't gonna cut that.
I don't cut anything.
No, he doesn't cut anything. Right. Let me try that again. Right. So they released a single earlier this year called Silver Spoon, which I absolutely adore. And it's one of my tracks of the year by far. This new song is the title track off their second full-length studio album called Earth is a Black Hole. And it's very much, if you know anything about Teenage Wrist, you'll know that they're very much in the kind of shoegaze / emo kind of, but more 90s alternative sounding shoegaze. Whereas this one, they've really kind of stretched their sound a lot more towards emo and towards almost indie rock in a weird way. But this hook in this song will not leave your head. It hasn't left my head for the past few days. I swear down. So that's all I really have to say about it. This band are one to be watched out for next year.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to this. So
yes, this song is called Earth is a Black Hole. And you queued it up then?
Yeah, and a fun fact about this as well, you just caught me in the nick of time about to listen to it before you said, "Oh, I'm having this for Saturday."
Yeah. Kieran was about to listen to this and I'm like, "Oh my God, you've got to check out this song for our podcast." And he's like, "Yeah, so close." So I'm glad you get to finally listen to it anyway. So
right.
This is Earth is a Black Hole by Teenage Wrist,
okay,
which is their title track, latest single off their album that's due out next year. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hang on. Spotify's being a dick. Start again. It pressed play and then the play button just froze. That's all right.
Brilliant.
All right, try again.
So professional. Right. 3, 2, 1, go. It doesn't want you to listen to it, clearly.
No, first you, now this.
See, now immediately when I first heard this, I was like, this is going to be different to Silver Spoon. It's a different vibe already.
Getting a bit of a Black Hole Sun sort of vibe.
chorus.
Oh, I love that. Kind of like Him. Yeah, it just does remind me of something Him would make.
Him is a great shout, actually. See, I said AFI when I first listened to this.
I absolutely love Him. One of my favourites of all time.
Well, there you go. Perfect. The video to this is hilarious as well. They dress up as like the Roblox characters, you know, from that Kanye video.
All right.
With the giant shoulders.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Ah, okay. Or, you know, Say You'll Haunt Me by Stone Sour.
That is a great show, actually. Yes, very much so. Has that hook in it.
Ooh, changing things up a bit. I like it. Is Song 2 by Blur playing or something?
Do you think this has got a bit of a Song 2 vibe about it?
It was just that drum bit there and the drum fill thing coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere. I was like, what? Is that another song playing?
Yeah. This chorus is so amazingly hooky.
And
Right then, so that was Teenage Wrist and Earth is a Black Hole. So, what are your initial feelings on that?
Well, first, it's a bit scientifically inaccurate to name Earth as a black hole because it is not a star. And second, I think from all the comparisons and stuff I brought up and the transitions that were in the song, that I just couldn't get used to the sort of changes, but in a good way. Like I was like, it surprised me there, and then Song 2 by Blur coming in there, and then, but I love his voice. I think he's got one of the nicest clean voices. Vocal timbre is very there. Or timbre,
for sure,
isn't it? Timbre.
For sure, very pleasant sounding. And,
yeah.
That hook in the chorus is just so undeniable. That's going to be massive at gigs.
Oh yeah, you know that sort of thing that you know what made Ghost stick out on the map as well. You know, those sorts of hooks that they have in their songs. And I think Teenage Wrist definitely has that kind of element to it.
So in terms of this, like the transition from, you know, you're aware of Silver Spoon, right?
Yeah.
In terms of the transition of the sound from this one to that one, what are you trying to? What do you feel like the album? Do you think this album might be an eclectic mix of those sorts?
I believe so.
style?
Yeah, I believe. Maybe Earth is a Black Hole is kind of like these two are the ones maybe trying to add something a bit new to the radio sort of thing, and then
it's very much. In fact, this song was co-written, in fact, by Stephen Aiello, who has worked with Whisper It, 30 Seconds to Mars, and Mumford & Sons, Cheyenne Jackson, Lana Del Rey, Junkie XL, Young Guns, Cobra Starship, Starset, The Knox. So he's, you know, his list of pop singles is, you know, this is a man who will get you on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that never felt. Not once did that song feel kind of out of place to me or forced.
No, definitely not. No. I think
it's different. It's different for sure.
I think
but it works on so many levels for me.
I think you're gonna get like some sort of power ballad on the album as well. I can see that fitting in there. Some sort of instrumental thing to transition between, because I feel like, from that genre of shoegaze, that it's gonna carefully mix into a lot of the songs.
Yeah, for sure. So Michael says, very rare I dip into this genre of music, but when the quality is as high as this, it's hard to deny. And Leisurely adds, sounds like 2005. That's interesting you say that. I don't know if he means in terms of like My Chemical Romance kind of style,
Possibly,
AFI style 2005, or if he means it sounds antiquated. I don't know. But if this sounds antiquated, then give me all the antiquated, really, because I'm a fan of that. And like I said, this album is due to come out on February 21st next year. So February 12th. I've read that dyslexically. February 12th next year on Epitaph Records, and you can pre-order it now. Very much looking forward to it on the strength of Silver Spoon and this tune here. So yeah, Teenage Wrist.
Nice.
Banging.
Can't wait. All right. So I think that concludes it for the listen to this segment. So we've got our very last segment, which is Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
Rob picks questions from, what is the name of the website?
Yes, it's signupgenius.com.
I gotta remember that one.
I have 100 would you rather questions that I will read from. KB picks a number between 1 and 100. And why am I saying this so slowly? I've done this intro so many times, and yet I butcher it every single time. Right, 100 would you rather questions from signupgenius.com. KB picks a number between 1 and 100, and we will discuss the resulting would you rather question within. So KB, please give me a number between 1 and 100 before I kill myself.
All right, there.
I don't know why I said that.
Leave your teenage wrists alone now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm... Sorry, thinking of TikTok again. 14.
14. You got that number from TikTok, right?
Yeah. Put a finger down. That challenge.
Oh, this is a very interesting one. Would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or in a broken elevator?
I would probably say ski lift, because elevator, you're probably more likely to run out of oxygen. Like, that's just a no-brainer. Like,
that's an interesting way of looking at it, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'd have thought it was the falling aspect that would be more taken into consideration.
Well,
like how far you fall.
Yeah, I suppose, because elevators, you can't necessarily... because they're cushioned at the bottom, aren't they, most elevators?
Yeah, because if you're stuck on both of them, and there's no option but to, like, jump or pry open the doors to an elevator and jump out of that, you, like...
Oh, actually, with a ski lift, you could... grind down the wire. You could get the one ski, strap yourself to it, put it over the wire, and go whee like a zip line.
That's not a bad shout. I think, yeah, and also it'd be quite claustrophobic in an elevator, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
depending on how many people you're with. If you're with like 10 other people all trapped in this elevator.
Oh yeah, that'd be the worst when someone farts.
Be like the film Devil, the M. Night Shyamalan joint.
Shalama. Yeah.
Shamalama. I would say ski lift as well. It just depends how high up you are, how high up the mountain.
Yeah.
And if you can see, if there's not too much like fog.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to jump off a ski lift and it be like a 5,000 foot drop to your death, M.
Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the correct way to pronounce it. Leisurely. Well done. Thanks for joining us, by the way.
M. Night Dalai Lama. Okay.
Right. Okay. So we both say broken ski lift, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Good stuff.
Without a doubt. Without any doubt in my mind.
Without any remorse whatsoever. We'll go for one more and then we'll call it a day. Number between 1 and 100, please.
Okay. 18.
18. Would you rather make a phone call or send a text?
What? Okay,
yeah, I know.
We're going to need one. I think we're going to have to introduce a third one into this.
Let's have a third one.
Would I rather
have a third one?
Have a phone call, send a text? For me, it's text. I'm so antisocial.
No, you just don't like talking to people over the phone.
I think If it's something that is too long for text words, then yeah, I prefer call. But if it's something that can be summed up in a text, I would rather just text.
I guess if it's in the context of like if it's a like a helpline or something, I would much rather. In fact, this brings me to an interesting point. I'm trying to source out a new phone for myself, right? And I want to contact Free about negotiating a new deal, but I'd be far more comfortable texting them, like or doing that chat, the chatter box thing, than actually talking to them over the phone, because I get so flustered and so nervous on phone calls to people I don't know.
I feel like on the phone it's probably easier for them to sway you, whereas like if I've ever been on the phone to been in a live chat to Vodafone, it can kind of negotiate things without a specific time limit. Like I could be there for like so long. That's just the way I prefer it in overall.
Great stuff. Yeah, I agree. I'm just not. Well, if it's someone I know and I'm on good terms with, but even then, like if it's someone I haven't spoken to in ages over the phone, I'm still a bit kind of nervous. I don't know what it is. I'm a lot more nervous talking to people over the phone than I am meeting them in real life.
Yeah, it's more like I can often lose. I have a terrible short-term memory, so I can forget what I'm trying to say, and then I don't really say things in chronological order, and people get mixed up. So that's the executive dysfunction in my mind going off. So if we ever have to call someone, I just hand the phone to Katie and say, use your womanly ways.
Yeah. In fairness, texting, things can come across the wrong way via text.
Yeah. If there's an argument or something, I would rather speak to someone, person to person or something like that, just so
if you're speaking to someone on the phone and they have a cheery demeanor whilst talking about a kind of sensitive subject, then you're far more inclined to go, oh, right, that's interesting, listening. But if you see the same thing in text and there's no context as to whether they mean it in jest or mean it in a serious way, then you're far more likely to go, yeah, don't fancy that,
absolutely. Yeah, that's
a counter argument for texting.
Yeah,
someone being the better option.
I think texting does open up more options, but I think as well, I don't know if we can include video calling into it, like video conferencing. I guess not, for the sake of keeping the question as rigid as possible. Overall, though, I'd say I prefer text.
Yeah, I think I would as well. Although, again, just one more point to raise. There is that horrible moment when you're talking to someone, you've said something to someone, and they, you have to wait for sometimes hours or days for a response.
That was when I was on fucking Tinder.
Yeah, right. Whereas on the phone, over the phone, you can get an answer straight away, and sometimes a yes or no answer if you press them.
Yeah, unless they hang up.
So I guess it is different strokes for different folks, but I would say text is. I do far more of my communication by text now than seeing people face to face.
But it's kind of why I kind of leave people on unread sometimes if I'm not in the full focus mode to respond to someone's text. I don't necessarily read their message, because I know. When I see that, I was kind of like, oh, I guess I'm not that interesting or something like that. Obviously now I kind of look back at that and go, no, there could be millions of things. The most important thing is don't let whatever is happening there stop you from doing what you do best.
Absolutely.
And it's just a thing, like not one person that is going to influence you for the better. Only you can do that. I know it sounds like a completely different message in these circumstances, but...
No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Totally. I think that's a good point to end it on, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for listening to episode 11 of the Key Yard podcast. And thanks again to Tom De Silva, who joined us for the first hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed talking to him. We're definitely probably going to see if we can get him back on. But yeah, socials. So where can we find you, KB?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure by now everyone knows I'm on TikTok. I've also got my YouTube channel, Kieran Benji. I've got my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also, and I've got a Discord set up. So you can join that if you wanna be involved with all the conversations and things. And that is also Kieran Benji. You can just go to discord.me/Kieran Benji, and you'll find it there.
If you fancy busting out some Among Us sessions with me and KB, we can go in the voice chat on his Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do that.
And also, I should be doing another stream in about an hour because I'll be doing the new Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. So if anyone wants to stick around and watch me play that, by all means, I would be thrilled. So,
great stuff. Right. As for me, RobV93 on Twitch. I am seriously considering starting streaming soon, given my reduced hours at work up until probably April. What, I don't know, but I'm probably going to need all the help I can get. So we'll see.
How much?
RobV9. How much? Yeah. No, I will get you to help me out on it, to be fair.
That's fine.
If possible. RobV93 on Twitter. You can find my music page, Rob Veryard Music on Facebook, VERYARD, and Rob Veryard on Instagram, where I post covers and tings. And our YouTube channel, this is going to be up on The Keyard Podcast on YouTube. That is the name of our YouTube channel. We find the podcast in full, along with optimized versions of each segment that we've covered today. So, that was a good one, KB.
It was very much discussion based, so I enjoyed it a lot because normally we jump from segment to segment, but having Tom in there kind of let the conversation carry on through different things.
It was great bouncing stuff off of him,
and it was nice to hear new opinions and things like that. So I'd love to bring someone on again. Absolutely.
And great stuff. And thanks for hanging out in the chat. Thanks, Leisurely. Michael, thanks, Murray Man. Anyone I missed out, I'm really sorry. Thanks for sticking around. KB, do you want to sign off?
Absolutely. So, guys, thank you for watching. Catch me in an hour. And until next time, lights out. And someone made it on time to say bye.